I like this analogy. It shouldn't be a teacher at the front of the classroom telling students, do this, do that. Instead, it should be students teaching their teachers. Learning between adults and kids should be reciprocal. The reality, unfortunately, is a little different, and it has a lot to do with trust or a lack of it. Words from a Doris Videk in February of 2012 remind us that sometimes adults need to learn from kids. Now, I want to start off with a question. When was the last time you were called childish? For kids like me, being called childish can be a frequent occurrence. Every time we make irrational demands, exhibit irresponsible behavior, or display any other signs of being normal American citizens, we are called childish. Which really bothers me. After all, take a look at these events. Imperialism and colonization, world wars, George W. Bush. Ask yourselves, who is responsible? Adults. Now what have kids done? Well, Anne Frank touched millions with her powerful account of the Holocaust. Ruby Bridges helped to end segregation in the United States. And most recently, Charlie Simpson helped to raise 120,000 pounds for Haiti on his little bike. As you can see, evidenced by such examples, age has nothing to do with it. Now, if you don't trust someone, you place restrictions on them, right? If I doubt my older sister's ability to pay me back the 10% I established on her last loan, I'm going to withhold her ability to take more money from me until she pays it back. True story, by the way. Now, adults seem to have a prevalently restrictive attitude towards kids, from every don't do that, don't do this in the school handbook, to restrictions on school internet use. As history points out, regimes become oppressive when they're fearful about keeping control. And although adults may not be quite at the level of totalitarian regimes, kids have no or very little say in making the rules, when really the attitude should be reciprocal, meaning that adults should learn and take into the account the wishes of the younger population. Now, I love to write from the age of 4. And when I was 6, my mom bought me my very own laptop equipped with Microsoft Word. Thank you, Bill Gates, and thank you, Ma. I wrote over 300 short stories on that little laptop, and I wanted to get published. Instead of just scoffing at this heresy that a little kid wanted to get published, or saying, wait until you get older, my parents were really supportive. However, some publishers were not quite so encouraging. One large children's publisher said that they didn't work with children. A children's publisher not working with children? I don't know, you're kind of alienating a large client there. Now, I appreciate your attention today, because to show that you really care, you listen. But there's a problem with this rosy picture of kids growing up to become adults better than you. Kids grow up and become adults just like you. Or just like you? Really? The goal is not to turn kids into your kind of adult, but rather better ones than you have been, which can be a little bit challenging considering your guys' credentials. Adults and fellow Tedsters, you need to listen and learn from kids and expect more from us, because we are the leaders of tomorrow, which means we're going to be taking care of you when you're old and senile. No, just kidding. No, really. We are the next generation, the ones who are going to bring this world forward. And in case you don't think that has any meaning for you, remember that cloning is possible, and that involves going through childhood again, in which case you'll want to be heard just like my generation. Now, the world needs new opportunities and new ideas. Kids need opportunities to lead and succeed. Are you ready to make the match? Because the world's problem shouldn't be the human family's heirloom. Thank you.